Hi, friends. Dr. Caroline Carpenter back again. And I want to talk about the difference between empowered choice and default decision. There is a big difference, and I want to suss out the details here with you because there's usually some things that go along with both. I used to go back and forth in my head until a default decision was made for me because it was just easier. There was a lot less pressure. And it took the weight of choosing away, which I had so much decision fatigue most of my life because I was overwhelmed and dysregulated, but I didn't understand how to harness my own power. And this was the topic today with the women's group that I was blessed to attend. But each of us has amazing power. Each of us is the hero of our own journey. And if you're not attuned to how to harness that power and where the power moments are, it's easy to just miss it. And so here's the difference between an empowered decision and a decision by default. Empowered decision comes from choosing to take that risk of not consciously knowing what's going to happen on the other side when your inner knowing is whispering to you, hey, let's go that direction. It requires you to ignore the conditioning. It requires you to ignore all the voices around you, and it requires you to plug into self, to trust self at such a deep level. So it's a hard one. It's a hard one. And there's usually a lot of back and forth. There's going to be discomfort, and it may feel like ripping off a Band-Aid. But there is a lot of power that happens and that will come as a result of that empowered choice. Now, a decision by default, this is usually what happens when it's too scary and we just fail to choose ourselves and trust ourselves and take risk. It feels something like imposter syndrome winning, that devil energy taking over. If you're into tarot, it can feel like being terrified of being vulnerable. It can feel like judging self before anyone else can, and just, run in circles until, someone or something will make the decision for you. It's kind of like waiting for the universe to rain down upon you and decide for you. This is completely giving your power away. I would know. I did it for about 30 years. There's no power here. This is living life by default and leaning on all the old programming just inside of you, not even taking advantage of the volition and willpower you do have, which is about 10%. So those empowered choices will feel like a risk, and they are. Here's the thing about the universe. It will bless those who are willing to risk on themselves, who are willing to bet on themselves, who are willing to say, yeah, I bet on me. I choose me. That's when the universe will choose you too. And that's when stuff just starts working out. Yes, it's scary. And if you're wondering, yeah, but like, what if there's money involved? There's usually always money involved or risk in these situations. Watch my video on creating your own economy. I have a whole lot of videos. Wealth, health, and relationships all start in the same place. And for 15 years, I watched trauma build up in the body when I had a brick and mortar chiropractic clinic. I had two, actually. I have seen so much trauma build in the body from people not willing to risk their dreams, not willing to risk taking a chance on themselves. And I finally stepped into my higher calling, which was helping people actually achieve that by making their unconscious identity match their conscious identity. And it can happen really fast. And really fast is really scary for the conscious mind. It takes one heck of a go-getter to be ready and to actually step into their own power. Full stop. Bar none. Most people are too afraid to. And this is why those willing to risk it on themselves, to bet on themselves over and over and over again, are the ones who make it. They are the ones who rise to the top. Not that there's better than or less than, but they are the ones that is like, when you come across them, you're like, whoa, their energy is on fire. And there's something so magnetic because they are willing to wake up every morning and, for lack of a better word, eat shit in the form of F the self-doubt, F the imposter syndrome, F my low self-worth. I will get it. I will get more of it by surviving a calculated risk over and over and over again, and building confidence in myself and knowing that when I show up for myself, the world will show up for me. So, are you willing to show up for you? Are you willing to risk it on yourself? I have subscribe here, share here. I've got several videos out on creating your own economy. Being willing to show up for you will prompt the universe to show up for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, I love to conversate on these things. I love helping women clear unconscious blocks for good and create their own economy. That's what I do for a living now. I finally stepped away from the chiropractic. Helping bodies feel better, I love doing that, but what I love doing even more is helping soul-aligned women clear their unconscious blocks for good and create their own economy. And when doing that, the body naturally starts offloading everything anyway, and it's like a 10-for-1 investment. So I love you all. I've got events coming up. I have a women's group that meets once a week right now. We are in week 2. Week 2 is on Lionsgate. And I also do intensive one-on-one work. I am about to open a one-on-one spot, and this is for a very specific person. So keep your eyes peeled. This is for the woman, the go-getter, who is ready to leave all of her limitations in the dust and never look back. It can happen really fast. It can happen in under 6 weeks. So this is for that person ready to go. All right. I love you all.